All right, so now we're in my backyard, and I just kind of wanted to show you my barbecue. I have a Primo. I love it. Some people use gas barbecues. That's fine if you like to do gas. I like charcoal. I've always cooked on charcoal for most of my cooks once I really started getting into barbecue. So there's two ways of cooking. One is direct, where you're directly over the fire, and that's called grilling. The other is smoking, and that's indirect. So think of it like if you're searing on a frying pan, that's direct, that's grilling. If you're cooking in an oven, the heat's all around it versus in one spot, that's indirect. And so how we're going to cook these ribs today is we're going to do indirect. And if you're using a gas grill, hopefully you have a few burners. You want the meat away from the burner that's on. Watch the temperature gauge. You want to be about 250, 275, maybe 300 to cook the ribs. But here, let me show you the Primo, because I really love this thing. The guy that started this worked for Green Egg. Everyone knows about the Green Egg, but I like this better because it has much more options. It's more versatile. It's a heavy ceramic cooker, but it's oval. So guess what? Now I can do my indirect cooking because there's a cavity over here that I'm not going to cook, and I'm going to put the coals over here. So if you bring the camera over here, I can show you the inside of the barbecue. So you'll see you can cook a full barbecue of charcoal if you want, or you can do an indirect. I have this ceramic plate, which probably isn't needed, but I'm going to put it here. This is like a little drip tray that they make. And here's the grill. There's another grill that goes on this side, so if you want both. And what we're going to do is we're going to light the barbecue, and we're going to cook over here, and that's it. So there's many ways to light charcoal. I like this Luft lighter. This is my second one. The first one, I was too close and left it into the coals, and it burnt. I told them I made a mistake. They sent me a brand new one. So I highly recommend these guys. It's a quality product with quality customer service. And they're not paying me for this. So there's our fire. So just close the hood, open up the top vent, bottom vent, and we'll come back when it's getting close to temperature. Okay, one thing I thought while we're getting the barbecue ready is to kind of explain the charcoal. In these ceramic cookers, you don't want to use briquettes because of the ash. So they recommend using lump charcoal, and this is what it looks like, just so you know. So that's what I use in there. Another thing that I use wood that I find locally. Here we have apricot and we have oak. So I go in on my bandsaw, I cut apricot, I cut plum, and oak. And so this is the wood that I smoke with. So I use just enough wood for what I'm cooking, and that's all it is. Just regular wood that I get around the neighborhood. Okay, we have the barbecue up to temp. It's at like 265. I want to cook anywhere between around 275, 300. I start off a little low, it will go up. I got some smaller chunks here. I'll start with these and then maybe move over to this one. And all I do is I put these on the coals, and then you just take your rack and put it here. Now, see, this is a fatter section. This is where I cut it. I'm going to put that towards the flame. Heat's over here, indirect here. And that's it. I got my vents set where I want them. And we'll check it in about, 40 minutes or so. It's been 40 minutes. We're at 300 degrees. You see we still have a little bit of smoke going from those two little pieces of oak that we put in there. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to see if it needs to be sprayed. And how I determine is I want to make sure it's dry on the surface. If it's not dry, then I'm not going to spray it. So Okay, so see, we've got some dryness here. They're looking good. So I have a mixture here of equal parts apple cider vinegar, water, and apple juice, and a little bit of Worcestershire to break it up. And that's all you need to do. Come back in 20 minutes. It's been an hour and 10 minutes, and so we're going to go ahead and spray again. And now you can see it's dry on the surface. So we're just going to give it another spray. And our smoke stopped, so we're going to add some smoke. And what we're really doing here is we're just going to cook it to where we like the texture and color. Once we have that, we're going to foil it, and then we'll cook it the rest of the time in foil. The ribs have been cooking for about an hour and 45 minutes. And they're looking good. This is what I want. I want this color. The reason I have these gloves on is I don't want to pick them up with tongs. I'll go ahead and close that. So now we have a nice rich color. All I'm going to do is spray it. And the back side. You can put honey, brown sugar. I used to do that, but then I feel it takes away from the ribs. So at this point, all we're going to do is wrap it. Oh, another thing is you want these to be down. Otherwise, the ribs pop out. So you want to put meat side down. Okay. Make a little package like that and put them back on. Now we're cooking at 300, so I am now going to close down this fire because otherwise it's going to cook too hot in the foil. And what we're looking for is for the ribs to get to a tendered stage. So that's where we're cooking it now. We're just finishing off in the foil until it's nice and tender. Okay, it's been close to 2 hours now, and what I do is I put a temperature gauge in there and I set it for 203. So I'm going to check now to see. This is kind of where I check the temp. I use this as a gauge kind of to know when to start getting ready to check. Okay, so there's our ribs. And so what I want to do is check with my Thermapin. You can use a toothpick, but this has a very fine point on it. You just kind of feel. You see, this is pretty tight. See, I'm pulling up. Softer on the ends. Little on the tough side right now, but that's why I set it at that temperature. Here's another way to check for doneness. Grab it here and pull it. If it rips, no. So it just needs some more time. So we'll put it back on and check it in about 10 minutes or so. We're close to 3 hours, and we're going to check it. I've checked it once before. It wasn't ready. Let's see what we have now. Okay, it feels good. So I'm going to kind of show you the pull test here. As soon as I pull, it starts to rip. That's when we know it's ready. So we have one more stage, and that is to glaze it. So I'm going to grab some glaze. And put some glaze right on top like this. And if I can do this, I'm going to transfer these to This is the hard part because they're hot and tender. And then we'll put a little glaze on top. All right. 5 minutes, that's it. Otherwise it burns. And then they're done. Okay, we're finally to the point where we get to check out what we cooked. The best way to do this is to put them over and see how the bones are at an angle. This way you get a good visual of how to do it. So just cut between the bones. This guy unfortunately popped out, but that happens. I'm not going to get all of them. But there are your ribs. And then to try it, and they came out well. That's what you want. You want them to be soft and moist, but not pull away from the bone when you bite on it. That's a perfect rib. Wish you could taste them. Feel free to send me an email if you have any questions on the cook. More than happy to answer them. Take care.